All right, so now the Zoom meeting has started and it's being recorded with the owl. But there are no participants other than us. And what, okay, and there's,
Yeah, true.
okay.
Look at Elizabeth.
Oh, there's somebody else, Brad, okay.
Oh, great.
Okay, Brad is joining us on Zoom. Okay,
Okay.
yeah,
I
okay,
don't know how to get out of this.
yeah, well, okay, but we are okay, because we don't really, well, if we end up seeing,
So it'd be nice to be able to see Brad.
it would be nice, yeah, he doesn't, there he is.
There's Brad. Why is he you're so small? It's because there's that bottom bar.
Murphy or Murray?
Me, I'm Murphy.
Murphy.
I see you on my computer, Brad, and we are trying to, did you, decide that you didn't want to come be in person?
I had 2 meetings tonight.
Okay,
Yeah,
Okay.
Brad's got a simultaneous select board.
okay.
Brad, how much of us can you see? Can you see only like a couple of bars or can you see all of us?
I missed
Oh,
what you said.
Can you see us at this point or can you only see our cards?
Oh. But that's weird. I would think I could see that on the Zoom, but I can only see it when you turn a computer that way.
The owl's not moving.
Yeah, we can't see all of you, Brad. It's interesting. That's okay. We just yeah, we're just seeing from the mouth up, so that's the important part.
Now I can't hear you.
Okay, can you hear us now?
I can hear you now.
Okay, all right, okay, well, we'll just go ahead.
Could we like close in a little bit so that?
Yeah.
More of us can be seen, but maybe we could close it a bit.
This should like rotate when someone speaks,
Hello, hello, hello.
but it's not doing it.
Oh, wait,
No,
oh, it is?
did it.
Oh my God, it did.
Mel has the magic. All right, Elizabeth's got the magic, Mel's got the magic, and we have all.
Oh, thank you, yeah, these are my reading and these are my. Say what?
Is the monitor the Zoom window? I'm just surprised that I don't see what's on the monitor screen as the main image on this.
Yeah, this is a bit weird, okay, but, can you see a split screen now with Marianne, me and Elizabeth?
I can
Okay,
see
the
the 3
owl
views.
goes to the person speaking, and
Yep.
Marianne is always in the shot, and that's just gonna be the deal, I think. Is that
It'll
okay with
work.
you, Brad? It'll work well enough. So when
Yep.
you speak, you have to raise your voice beyond my normal level. Oh, and here we all are, look, Marianne fixed it.
No, I didn't do anything. I think it heard, Mel typing.
Oh, okay.
Maybe.
good enough, good
Yeah.
enough.
Okay,
All right, well, I'm excited and privileged to call the first in-person and hybrid Board of Library Trustees meeting to order. This is the first time that we have gathered in person, I believe, since February of 2000.
Not too bad. You mean?
2021. I know they wanted a zero. It feels like that long, but it actually is only been 3.5 years. But it's still a long time. And I'm just so pleased to welcome Elizabeth. We had wonderful applicants for the trustee position. We could not have made a bad choice, but we have been able to make a truly outstanding choice. I'm super delighted that you're here. It's good to be here. That's great. So, I did circulate, although it came to you a bit late because we didn't have your email check, an agenda for this evening. So we're convened and, the agenda is, just a few minutes of getting an agenda check and tech battle, which we've won. It is to welcome Elizabeth, and then it's to get through minutes, our director's report, if any. Our beloved directors have been on vacation and maybe doesn't have one, and that would be okay. An update from the LBC. Tim conscientiously shared an update from the Friends meeting, even though he wasn't there, he did it anyway. And then the pro-side petition update, if we have one. And then we're gonna spend some time on budget planning, and then just next steps is setting our next meeting date. Does anyone have any additions to that agenda?
The only thing I wanted to add is what I said to you, when we talk about the next meeting, I'd like to talk about having one person.
Can we continue having, like, this not be a one-off, but a
Yeah,
practice?
we'll talk about it when we set our meeting date.
Yeah, that's great, thanks. Anybody else have anything else? All right, let's roll. Welcome, Elizabeth. Do you know each of us, do you feel like an introduction of who we are and our service would be helpful to you?
I think that would be great.
All right, is everybody good with that?
Sure.
Awesome. So Sharon, would you like to start us off?
If you have any questions, just ask.
Officially, Tim is our liaison with the Friends, which is a role that we've had for quite some time. And it's really important because so much of the, support of the library happens through the Friends. So, you know all about that in the questions.
And do you want to say how long you've been a trustee? I'm trying to remember myself.
I'll go forward, my term expires as soon as it's
Mine? Oh, okay, so it's next year,
this June.
this June. Okay, we got a
I
couple
guess that's
people.
next June.
Yeah,
It is.
so I was just whacking. And Michelle, if you want to go?
Sure, I'm Michelle Lad, and, I started out with the last library, library, I started out as on the LISTEC, which is kind of like writing the building program, with the grant application. And then there was a vacancy on the trustees, so I started just back when my daughter was about 8, and she's not 24.
Alarm?
Michelle.
Yeah, but I don't think it's any-
One of the things, and the co-chair with me, and one of the things I really value about Michelle's long service is just the institutional memory and knowledge that you bring, and also your deep knowledge of effective grant writing, and has been super helpful. Now, you're up.
I'm so glad that you're here. I'm Mel Silva. I'm the secretary or clerk of the Board of Trustees. This is my second term. It was a fiercely competitive race. Yeah, no, I ran on both.
I think we all have.
Yeah, I ran the first time because I walked into the town hall for something else. And Marianne was standing there with Susie
Yes,
Mosher.
yes,
and
okay,
maybe Becky Torres.
yes, yeah.
And they were talking, and then they all turned, and I walked in and they looked at me. And they looked at each other, and then they looked at each other and they were like this. And I was like, oh, what? Marianne was like, will you run for library board of trustees? And I was like, I'll do anything that you ask me to do. I'm like, I don't even know what that means, but I'll do it. So I did, and here I am.
Can I add that I think that Melanie is one of the best secretaries we've ever had, including Rose. So yeah,
And
yeah, no, you don't. And then we have Brad.
Hi, I'm Brad. I'm on the very southern border of Shutesbury. I'm a southerner. I'm right on the Pelham border, on West Pelham. And I think I'm in my third term, although I've lost track. I'm treasurer of the trustees. In my other life, I run 1794 Meeting House concert series up in New Salem, and I do accounting for nonprofits and I run and teach English country dancing. Our daughter went to SES, and it's through her being at SES and then the trips that the kids would go to the library that got us introduced to our library and to Marianne. And from there, I slowly moved into these other things. So good to have you on board.
I would like to add that Brad has architectural expertise. He worked with an architect and trained as an architect, or both. I can't remember quite which. I think both.
My college degree is in architecture.
Okay, and is the trustees representative to the library building committee? Tim is a retired accountant and brings a whole lot of fiscal expertise to our board. Melanie is a communications specialist, I believe, for a nonprofit organization, Trans Health.
Yeah.
And Michelle is a long-time special education,
Retired, really young coordinator.
yeah,
Schools in Deerfield area.
So what we really need is security alarm specialist.
yeah, we could use that right
There's
now.
somebody upstairs and that is throughout the whole building. Security panel says everything's in order, but.
So that noise is upstairs too?
Yeah.
Yeah, I texted Becky.
Okay. Maybe could somebody contact the student police?
Yeah, I can do that too.
And I am the climate campaign coordinator, a manager, sorry, I'm the climate campaign manager for the United States. So we all bring a wide variety of organizing, building, financial, communication, grant writing, and youth services expertise. And I know that you bring a lot to us too. Would you like to say a little bit about what you're most looking forward to bringing?
Sure. So I'll talk a little bit about my background. So in college, I studied political science and then worked in admissions for about 8 years, maybe doing international admissions. And so international admissions sort of encompasses a lot of the things you're talking about, with lots of budgeting and event planning, strategic planning type things. After that, I worked at UMass for a couple of years doing big event planning in their alumni association, like they did their 50th reunions and 25th reunions. And then I worked in their Office of International Admissions as well. After that, when I moved to Shutesbury, it was during the pandemic, I became a stay-at-home mom. So now I'm home with the kids. And I feel like my brain needs to do something else too.
We got you.
I think I can bring those skills that I did use in admissions and event planning and I think utilize them here.
Yeah,
And it will also maybe be good for me.
yeah, absolutely. And all the skills, like the same skills that you are using as a stay-at-home mom, right?
Those
Like
too.
coordination and healthcare and right, chef and yeah, mediation, right?
Yeah.
admin.
Well, he's remote expert.
Yeah, right.
So we'll use whatever you got.
That's awesome.
Well, thank you so much for making time for those introductions, and I'm really, as I said, super excited about being with us.
I put my code in again and hit enter and it worked.
Oh.
I have a brand new phone and all my contacts didn't make it through. So I don't have Kristen's number in there.
Good
but-
to you, because you are our security.
Yes, so, I mean, I had already put my code in, but we'll just see if it, and it was beeping when I came in the door, and it's not usually beeping
Oh.
until usually you have to trigger it, and nobody had triggered it, so there's something up. Yeah,
And
okay,
it's quieter
Yeah.
now, so that's awesome.
Yeah,
Yes.
thank you, that's here.
okay, yes,
All
okay,
right. So
Good.
can we move
Were
on?
you able to get a message to Becky?
yeah, yeah.
So, afternoon, 2 sets of minutes.
I wouldn't say this afternoon. I'd say it was like an hour.
Okay, late, or earlier this evening.
Yeah, earlier.
This afternoon somewhere.
It's afternoon somewhere, right?
That's fair.
It's morning somewhere,
I
like
was not.
this morning, I sent.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm so sorry about that. I
Don't
just,
worry about it.
yeah.
Don't worry, Mel sent her typically complete set of two, sets of minutes, one for our last meeting and one for our meeting, with the select board for you were present. So, are there any edits or changes to Melanie? Yeah, I'm gonna show Melanie, this, like, this Melanie, figure out, that seems like it should be different word, but then it seems to make sense either, so. If they don't have my laptop, oh my god, it's printed, so I can read, it's hard to read on my phone, then download. Oh, it's really hard to read on your phone, yeah. The kids are good, but I can't hear it. Well, I can't open it on my phone, I have to send it to you, and download, upload, and get it. Yeah.
Oh, are happening,
Yeah, that's what I thought.
are happening,
On that, the rest of the time.
oh, are happening. And proceeds will go to the new library.
Mhm.
Yeah, okay, so just fix it.
Yeah, right. I think that's all. Did anybody else have any amendments? Edits to the minutes? I would be delighted to have a motion.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to accept the minutes of November 18th as revised.
And a second,
Second.
all in favor, we're gonna do a roll call vote because I think that's required for hybrid, is that right? So now,
Yes.
Michelle?
Yeah.
Elizabeth?
Yes.
And Tim?
Yes.
And I say yes, I'll say so, yeah.
And Brad?
Oh, I beg your pardon, Brett. Hybrid is still hard for me. I'll get better at it, I promise. And then we have the select board meeting minutes. Were there any suggestions about those?
It's good to me.
Do you have experience with fundraising, Danica?
I do have experience. with
You do, okay.
Sort of, I'm working on the turkey trot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Which is
And
a
then-
quick study. So,
That's great.
Because some of those like alumni events, they are connected to fundraising.
I just added events,
I've done, yeah.
because I know that you said. events.
But not as my main.
But, yeah.
Connected to it, definitely.
All right, last call for any edits to those minutes, which look great to me.
I just added events. Yeah,
Okay.
because I'm sure that Elizabeth mentioned that in the
Okay.
meeting that she does events. And
Yeah.
I just forgot to put that.
So could I have a motion on these, please?
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes as written.
And
Amended or amended. Yeah.
Anyone second?
I'll second.
All right, Tim,
Abstain.
you were, okay. I'll give you one. Yes, Kate says yes, yes, Michelle says yes, and now I'm assuming you say yes.
Yes.
Brad,
Yes.
I agree. That's, and then the section on your minutes. Mary Ann, we don't have a written director's report.
No.
I think we can move on to that. Is there anything you would like to highlight? for
I'll-
a couple minutes?
yes, so for a long time, I sent a monthly director's report several days in advance of the meeting, so
Yeah.
people could read it and digest it and have questions. And sometimes I don't have time to do that. This is one of
We
those
started,
ones.
we started building a library.
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah, yes, yes.
Yes.
So let's see, so on Saturday, we had a lovely family Halloween party at the Shutesbury Athletic Club. So Mark Oshevsky dresses up as Gandalf and does
Oh, really?
haunted hay rides. So it is so cute. So he brings a wagon with hay bales on a tractor and goes down Plaza Road. And this year, other people from the SAC got dressed up in scary costumes and hid along the trail, and they made ghosts and hung them up.
No,
Um,
it's awesome.
So there was one guy, I have no idea who he even was, but he was dressed as a really creepy clown. And then he stopped me, and there's even photos of it. So, anyway, I have no idea who he was, but I kind of thought with all those other people around, I was probably safe, and I wanted to seem brave in front of the children. So Plainfield Farm in Hadley donated the pumpkins, and our highway department went and picked them up and brought them to the SAC. So, I mean, I don't know, they say, thank you so much for doing it. For that, I feel like I don't do anything. I'm like, I make a few phone calls, I show up and I chit chat with people. And I throw away the pumpkin guts. So that was Saturday and that was really fun. And it was, the highway department helped, a farm in Hadley donated the pumpkins, the SAC went all out, and a good time was had. I would say there were about 50 people there.
Really?
Yeah, and babies to 7th graders. It was really fun. October is a terrible time to take a vacation. It's a good time for my family.
Yeah.
It's a bad time for the grant world. So Cultural Council grants were due when I left, and then the New Salem Academy grants were due on October 20th. I did manage to submit 4 Cultural Council grant applications before I went, which is, I've submitted as many as 8 in years past, but I submitted one for a series of fiber arts classes, a soap making class, a couple of little art classes so the fiber arts classes would be Rory Valentine. Soap making is a woman named Erica Golding, who lives in Orange. We did one on Zoom at the beginning of the pandemic. It was supposed to be in person. We weren't doing in person. It worked out great. You did it, I think. And so we're going to do it in person, which will be because I'm out of soap. And then, yes, and then a couple of art programs with Jeanette Stockton. This is if they grant all of these. And then 3 children's art programs that Sam Spiziak will run. So when Sam lived in Vermont, she had a children's art studio business, where where parents dropped off their kids and they did art activities, and all the mess and all of the coordination happened there. The kids went home with their beautiful creations. And then Sam cleaned up after them. So this is the same thing will happen, but, so and she, designed programs for, 6 months to 3-year-olds, and then 3 to 5-year-olds, and then, 5 to 7-year-olds. So, that'll be really fun. And then I submitted a grant to the New Salem Academy for, so their grant season is, they're meeting now this time of year. By November, I'll know if I've got the grant, and then the money starts in January, and then you're supposed to be finished by the end of August. They've always given me an extension till the end of September, but I asked them to pay for all of the strength training classes. So we'll see if they're willing to pay for ongoing programs. I've never applied for a grant like that before, but that's in. So that was good. I actually did that while I was away. Because I said, okay. And I had said to Brad, he came in the library, and I said, so I'm not going to apply for a grant, which means there'll be a few less programs that I'll offer, and then I won't have to do the grant reporting, and it'll be okay because I'm very busy doing this other stuff. But if I'm going to have the fitness programs on anyway. And so it was, putting the application together and then doing a report. So it'll be fine. So we'll see. I'm hopeful. It would be great to have that money. So that's that. And then should we say, do you have any questions about any of that before we go into budget? Was that next?
No,
Okay.
we're gonna do sort of a report.
Okay.
before we
Okay.
get there.
Okay.
So thank you for that. I did wonder, I had a question related to the Halloween event. Is whether it would be time to have a note from the trustees to the highway department, the SEC, and the farm.
Oh, that would be lovely.
Well, could
Yeah.
we put that, I'm happy to just write some notes. And
Okay.
deliver them to the library.
Okay.
If you could send
Okay,
Would you be okay with that?
oh, that'd be awesome.
Sorry, I'm not
That'd
trying
be-
to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that would be great.
If someone could
Okay.
mark that as a next step in
Okay.
big, bold letters with yellow highlighting, I would be grateful.
Okay.
All right. Brad, are you up for a building committee update?
Well, as
Heather,
you, I think Marianne has more of the details than I do. We've met, we've gone over designs in ever increasing detail. It's fascinating. It's wonderful to see it develop. And it keeps going forward. I can't off the top of my head think of the key points. I mean, we've talked about the roof, we've talked about the siding. We were meeting with a landscape designer this last time to talk about how other various elements fit, including how the well will go, where the well might go. So the main thing I would say is I'm very impressed and very pleased to see the progress. I like seeing it get more and more detailed as the weeks go on. And sometime soon, we were hoping it would be about now, but we're waiting on one of the subs to finish some of their stuff. And so we're not yet ready to do the next pricing project. There should be a pricing exercise coming soon. They happen periodically, and we're due as soon as some of this other stuff gets done. So Marianne, what would you add?
would you like to see pictures?
Oh, I guess.
Okay. I just thought, Brad, why don't I just show them the slides
Sounds
from
great.
like the last meeting? All right, I'm gonna see what I can find.
Is this further along than even the public?
Yes,
Oh, okay.
yeah, let me
You
see.
should explain that. I was really glad they brought some materials so you could see what the slate, siding was gonna look like and that kind of thing. Because the only thing I was thinking is like, well, it's like, but, and we have some other examples too. So that was really helpful.
Oh, while we're here, and I was spurred by an email that I couldn't help from seeing. If the people are Florence State customers and haven't yet voted, vote. We have gotten a grant for.
I'll
over a
just do it
decade.
this, well, actually, no, because Brad can't see it this way. All right.
Yeah, can you share screen?
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
um. Let's see.
Keep moving stuff.
I know, and it's different on every,
I wanted to own that. Yeah.
You looking for the share
oh, I
screen?
got it.
Well,
Share
I can
screen.
tell you all about it if you're interested in another one.
Because I was signing into.
Okay.
That's one morning.
All right, so here we go. So I won't describe every slide, but so here's the site plan. And this is gonna change some. We were waiting for the report from the stormwater test pits and the borings test pits. So when that came in, everything comes in at 6 o'clock on Friday, right? So like everything else that came in, it came in on Wednesday, but it always takes longer. So now the septic system, which you can see is that rectangle on the, this is the eastern border of the property. And Nancy Dillman's house is over here. So the septic system is really probably likely to be over here because we started to do the perk test about a month ago in the backhoe road. So everybody, like, and the backhoe's brand new. So there's a lot of joking about how Mary Ann broke the backhoe, but I wasn't touching it when it was broken.
Let
So-
the record show.
Okay, but this perk wasn't great, and so we were starting to do, it perked, but it wasn't a great perk, which means it's a more expensive system.
Yeah.
So then they came back, because we had started to do perks over here, and that's when the backhoe broke, so they came back, and the perk was actually excellent over here, so right where the driveway, that current driveway is. But, so that'll, so, and so, you know, so these things are gonna have to move a little bit. And so the site plan will, move, but you can see, you know, so the original plan had the library back here in the tree line. They moved it 100 feet closer to the road, and then we had it staked out by the surveyors. And then they came and looked, and back here at the tree line, there's this noticeable difference. There's a lot of earthwork that's happened back here over the years. And so it would be more expensive and really unnecessary, so they've moved it another 20 feet closer to the road. And that sort of created a pinch point with the buffer zones.
Yeah.
So the limit of work goes 75 feet into the buffer zone. It did go even further, but Penny and I said, you know, so we're gonna be asking for waivers for this project. And so they tightened things up here. They didn't extend this walkway so that there isn't a, you know, a finished walkway there, because this is the 25 foot of the buffer zone. But you know, there's a walkway here, and then there's a walkway here, and then people can walk on the grass. There just won't be an ADA path in that location. So you come in, it's this will be a one-way drive. This is two-way. This is a one-way drive that's wide enough for a fire truck to turn around, you know, to go through. There's room here that a fire truck can pull off. And then this will be not paved, but sort of reinforced turf, so the undersurface is reinforced so that people could park on the grass. When there's, you know, when there's an event happening, we need a little bit more parking. So that's the site plan. And then, yeah, 250, maybe 230 feet. Yeah, so it's still set up off the road, just not quite as far. Right, yes. You know, then here's a whole bunch of boring stuff. And so this was, and then in different places, let's see if I can get this to go back. Oh, come on, why? All right, okay. So then we're gonna have to do restoration, and that's what I'm trying to show you. So, you know, so we're gonna be disturbing this vegetation all around there in the course of the construction. And we're going to be, you know, impacting buffer zone with the building and with the grounds. So we'll have to do some mitigation, and some of the mitigation will be planting. Oh, and here we are.
And so you were sort of showing us a mix of native.
Yes.
With wet tolerant.
Right. So we'll enhance that meadow that's there. And then there'll be other, you know, these are more upland plants, and then wildflowers will be put in. So those, and the landscape architect made those things. And then here's the civil plan. And so there's some talk of, and I don't see it on either of those. But there was some talk of like a reading garden, like over here. And this might just be a little older. Yeah, no, it's 25. So there was some talk of a reading garden like over here. And this is like the landscape architect who just can't help himself, right?
Yeah.
Because we've said we're gonna let go of outdoor development for now so that we can afford the program.
Right.
The well, the well has to be a public water supply. So, and for public water supply, there can't be an impervious, and Brad, I think that's the word, surface within 100 feet of a public water supply. And the well will be in that direction. So then he said, if we're gonna have like an outdoor reading, developed reading garden area, it probably, we want to just avoid that area over there to the west of the building. And then maybe do something at the south of the building. So that was one thing that we're talking about. And then this shows,
What does that mean that the well has to be a public water supply? What is it?
It has to fall under the requirements of a public water supply.
Okay,
Which is
supposed to be
different.
residential.
yes,
Got it.
yeah,
There's
Um,
a specific part,
right.
there's, water
Yeah.
regulations that apply to public supply. There's specific limits for particular, pollutants that you have to meet for a public supply that you don't have to meet for private.
Interesting, okay, got it.
all right. So this will be stormwater drainage. This in the center of the driveway will be, like a rain garden. So that's a mitigating factor. And then there'll be more stormwater drainage back there.
Can I ask one of my inevitable questions?
Yeah.
Again? This is all designed with fluctuating, climate changing, precipitation climate, projection for New England.
Yes,
Excellent.
Yes. So Fuss and O'Neill is the civil engineer, and they, they're a big environmental firm, and know a lot about this. Yeah, yes. So this is the entry side of the building, or the east side of the building. Let's see. This is the children's room. This is like that small study. That's the director's office, that's the team room. This is a change from that public forum. So at the public forum, this was shown, this is the team room, and it was shown with like a flat roof that landed here. And now this wall has been extended. This wall has actually come out about a foot, and it's goes all the way up to the ceiling. And this also happened on the other side of the building. And this roof here actually angles up. But the roof is attached to the overall roof. The roof can't be more than 5,000 square feet. But this angles up to sort of create this dynamic look at the entrance. And on the other side, that outcropping for the roof, so that's the staff workroom and the storage on that side. Those walls went up, creating storage up high in the staff workroom. And it looks nicer. I don't have a picture of that roof now. Here's the floor plan. Here, I'll see if I can move. And this is, how the exterior looks quite possibly could change, like the siding could change. Stuff like that. The floor plan, I think this is really pretty close to what it's gonna be. So, the meeting room with space for spill out into the small lobby. Instead of a kitchen, we've got just a little bump out kind of kitchen closet that'll have some sliding doors. Let's see. We still have 2 actual real bathrooms with running water. So the water service room and the janitor room have been combined into one. This is gonna be storage off the staff workroom. Here's the staff workroom. This is going to be over here. This will be where our library of things will be on display. So in season, the light vest will be hanging up there up high. People will walk into the library and see those. And this will be for like new books and things like that. Here's the teens room, and then there's gonna be some shelving outside the teens room. There'll be a self-checkout, machine here, it's just not pictured. This is a printer, couple of computer stations. This is something that we added since the community meeting room over here, that community forum. So we wanted like another sort of workspace in the adult room, and so we sacrificed a little bit of shelving and made this little like study carrel, you know, that looks outside, so that's a little spot, and then we've got, you know, cozy seating here, cozy seating here. This is a small study room that, you know, that could accommodate a meeting of 6 people if it had to. And then this is the children's room, and then this area will be like a play space, you know, it'll be like little mobile furniture units that have a play counter on top and storage underneath. And, you know, this will be a window here. This is a window here. So that's the floor plan.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah,
So I know that in the original idea was for the meeting room where there could be like concerts and stuff, for there to be like big open doors that would spill out into the lawn. Are we not able to have that? Yeah, okay.
yeah, so we were gonna have like an attached
Well,
covered
yeah,
porch.
yeah.
Yeah,
And I know we
Yes.
used the porch, but I was wondering if
Right.
it was just being made. with
Yes.
the-
yeah,
Like with the hope that sometime we could
right.
put it.
Yeah, so that room is smaller,
Got it.
and there's so little. So one thing we're talking about, that wall, and I don't think we have a picture of the interior of that room on this set of slides. But that's where like the screen will be, or the giant TV, and, you know, and like 10 years ago, we would have said screen that you pull down from the
Right.
ceiling. Now they say, Mary Ann, do you want a screen and a projector, or do you want a giant TV? And I think the answer is giant TV.
Yes.
But if you do screen and projector, the screen can be up and you've got a wall that could have art on it. You know, so anyway, we don't have to make that decision today. But because we have 3 doors on, you know, the kitchen, so the book drop, the kitchen, the storage room, the electric room on that wall, some windows on the other wall. There's not a lot of wall space, but but it's still enough that you can have a small art show, and there could also maybe be art in other areas of the library.
That's what I was
So,
gonna ask.
yeah.
Because, yeah, I think, you know, the space at the screen is like, is there something like this?
right, right, and, you know, and with this, the room doesn't have to be dark to see it.
Right.
There's a lot of benefits of it, so,
You can also digitize people's art and do a rotating slideshow and all that stuff.
you can,
That's,
yes,
and so you
Yeah.
can have the best of both worlds. If-
Yeah.
If the medium is not, you know,
Right.
TV, then
Yes.
it's harder, but you can
Right.
do cool stuff.
yes, we can, okay. So, any other questions about this before I go on to the
That
next?
was great.
We'll see what else, we'll just see what else is in this set of slides. Oh, these are just different elevations, okay. And, you know, and of course, this is just so here you can see, so this is that,
Corinne, is there a way to get rid of that?
yes, okay. So this is where that roof bumps out over the staff workroom. And so the staff workroom got taller and there'll be more storage in there, and any storage at all is really good. And then this shows you that roof elevation over the entryway. And this is definitely not in this set of slides, but there was some concern about this valley. And this is gonna be, so this is all standing seam metal roof, and then it's flat seam metal roof here and here. And then, well, well, actually, it's not flat seam here, but it's flat seam from here to here. And then this is gonna be something called TPO membrane, which is a new material that they use for roofing, and it's gonna go underneath there. And then there's gonna be all the sealing, and it's gonna have a 30-year guarantee. So, and then there's gonna be this thing, I think they called it a cricket, which, you know, which drains from both sides, and you just won't be able to see any of this stuff. But there was concern about that, and they're just not in this set of slides. So here, I'm gonna see, they're calling it the Shutesbury Public Library, and we've never had a conversation about what this building will be named. And so that's just a conversation to have sometime soon. You know, is it gonna be the Shutesbury Public Library? Is it gonna be the Shutesbury Community Library? Wendell is the Wendell Free Library. So these are just things to, at some point.
Maybe we put that, if we have any input into that, we put that on the agenda. I didn't discuss how to get input into.
Right.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
have stuff about it. I think that's
Yeah.
good enough.
Okay.
I'm a little conscious in an annoying share like way of the time,
Right.
and just, I really appreciate this presentation. Is there anything else that you really want us to see, or do you think we should move on?
I think we can move on. I think you saw the bulk of it.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Okay. Okay.
Appreciate it.
Alrighty. So, and then we'll have a cost estimate by, we had thought it would come before Thanksgiving, but I think it'll be after Thanksgiving. We'll have the next cost estimate.
Okay,
Yeah.
could we put that like on our long-term agenda, is just to take a look at the cost estimate? Not because it's our business, but because we're interested, you know?
And it is your business, you know, so.
Yeah, something.
Yeah. Okay.
Is there any update on the pro side petition?
So it was submitted, and that's where it stands. So, yeah.
Thank you. Any sense of how long these things take usually, or? It's gonna have a time?
I mean, when we spoke to her, she said it could take 9 months.
Okay.
Just, do other people remember that? So,
No, I couldn't
Yeah.
remember, so.
yes, yeah, okay,
Budget.
budget.
Planning.
Okay, so, so we have a meeting with the finance committee in December, and did I send you that date, or did I just say? Okay, so I'll send that. I think that date is the second Tuesday in December. So we should, so Brad, you and I should plan a time. We should give me a week to get the budget together. I started working on it today, and once I start working on something, then it goes, you know, it's, so we should plan a time next week or the week after to review the budget together. And then it should be on the agenda for the November meeting. And then we'll bring it to, the finance committee in December. They like to get it ahead of time. They asked for level services budgets. I want to ask for 3 more hours for Cynthia for the library assistant position, 3 more hours a week. There are a lot of things that the library does that the library didn't do, like, you know, a whole host of museum passes, a library of things that, even though the library is small, that collection grows a little bit. I'm about to add an induction cookbook. You know, the programming, even though we're not at our pre-COVID programming, it's still a busy schedule of programming, and it takes staff time to make it happen. And then from, and then there are other sort of things, COVID related things. So if we're having a hybrid meeting, and a lot of the library building committee meetings are hybrid, somebody has to set that up to have, it doesn't magically happen, right? So usually I get to a room 15 minutes ahead of time. I didn't make it tonight 15 minutes, but usually I do, because that's about how much time it takes. And then I have to arrange to get the owl, and because I don't just have one. And then setting up other meetings, you have to set up the Zoom meeting, and then you have to give the Zoom recording to Grace. So there's all this new work that has to happen. And then there are different things like with broadband. So broadband is this amazing thing, and I'm so grateful to have it both at home and at work. But what, there's work about broadband that just has fallen on me and on the library. When people were signing up for broadband, they did it through the library. And now the most recent, and then I get a lot of calls of my broadband's not working, who do I call? And then, and the thing is, I answer the telephone, and it's a place that people can call and somebody answers the telephone. And then most recently, people's backup batteries started dying and it makes a beeping noise. And then the broadband committee bought bypass power cords for whatever those machines are, the ONT, I think it is. And we have them at the library. And so people call Shield and they say, go to the library to get one. So it's always, they call Shield. Shield tells them to go to the library. They call the library first. Then they come to the library. Then I give it to them and I give them the instructions and I show them on the instructions how to do it. And like, does that take a tremendous amount of time? No. But every time it happens, it interrupts what you're doing. Right. And then the whole Zoom meeting thing. These are just all the examples of little things that interrupt our workflow and add to the work that we have to do of why we need more staff time. So the library has its own Zoom account. Town Hall has 2 Zoom accounts. Most of the time, 2 Zoom accounts is enough for Town Hall. Every once in a while, I would say every other month. So not even once a month, but every other month, Town Hall needs another Zoom account and they ask if mine's available. So about every other month it is. Sometimes it's not. They asked while I was on vacation. I said it's not available while I'm on vacation. Because it means another person, either it means I log in and start the Zoom, or another volunteer is logging in and starting the Zoom. And the more people that are logging into a Zoom, the more problems there are with the Zoom. And if the Zoom gets messed up while I'm on vacation, there are 4 programs happening while I'm on vacation that a volunteer is starting, and it might not work, right? So, and it's just a little thing, and it doesn't take 3 hours, but it interrupts everything else. So I think that asking for 3 additional hours a week for Cynthia is level service.
I think you should ask for 10.
I
After
think
what you just said, I'm just like, but, I mean, I'm,
3 hours.
I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, 3 hours is reasonable.
Mhm.
I mean,
It is, it's interesting to me because I'm remembering when, we weren't gonna need a library, we just had projects.
Right,
And what
Yeah.
we've learned over COVID is that, everything needs care and administration and connection and education, and that's
Right.
the fundamental function of our library.
yeah,
I'm totally, in support of this. I'm looking at trustees and I'm not seeing anyone going, I'm not gonna do it. So it's
Yeah.
just more about how we can show up and support.
Okay.
I
yeah.
might possibly be in Dubai in that meeting. I really hope I don't, but,
Okay.
but nonetheless, I'm sure we always have good turnout when you need us.
Right, and I'll try and get, so before COVID, One time I went to a finance committee meeting and just for some strange reason, nobody was there with me. There weren't any trustees with me. And it's fine. I know the budget and I'm good at explaining the budget. And I got a million questions and I said, I'm never going to a meeting by myself again. And so now I just, I mean, it should be, technically, it's the trustees presenting the budget. And I'm doing it on the trustees' behalf. So it's nice if some trustees are there with me.
Yeah,
Yes.
when we know the date, we'll be sure.
Yes, and I will send you the date after this meeting before I even go home. It's just hard to look it up while meetings in progress.
That's awesome. Wow, I'm so fired up about those pictures. Can we just have a moment of appreciation for the setting?
Yeah.
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 I know.
Yes.
We feel confident about.
Yes, it's gonna be really nice. It's gonna be great. It is.
So we're at the end of our time. Is there anything else on budget, Brad? Before we roll? Okay. So I know that we captured a couple of next steps. Conversations that we want to have about the name of the library.
Yep.
I need to write some cards.
Yep.
And then we were going to plan for, making sure we have a presence at the finance committee meeting, and there was something else.
We're gonna review the cost estimate when it's available.
Yes, thank you.
And the name of the library, Jerry said that.
I think I did.
Okay, sorry.
So of those things, could we name the pieces that are on our next agenda? It seems like the finance committee is for sure. I feel like the name could wait, maybe if we don't have time, but what else
It
feels?
could just be a rolling until.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
We need to do that.
We'll need to review the budget.
The budget on it, and then the action plan, because that's due December 1st.
okay,
And I'll have that ready for this, yeah.
yeah, that sounds like good. Anybody have any other requirements for our next agenda? Okay, we'll do the usual report backs and everything. I encourage people, if you haven't read the Friends report, to read the Friends report. It's really worth your time. Can we set a date for our next meeting?
Can I just share something?
All our baby terms, yes.
So, John Zinsberg, who's a friend, wrote an article that's gonna be in his monthly running column, that will be in the Gazette on Saturday about the turkey trap. He did talk to him, I had to get him phone number, and he had some questions for that. Yeah, that's great.
So normally, I think we would meet on the 13th, is that correct, of November? Am I right about that?
I think it's, it used to be the second or third, but it's gotten a little.
Yes.
It's
depending
gotten
on
a little
who are
later.
there.
Or would people, was it
Not really.
13th work for people? Is there anyone for them?
It will not work. Does that work for you, Brad? 13?
13th?
Yeah.
Yes, 13th is okay.
Right, anyone object to the 13th?
Wait a second. Oh, that's a month ago.
I think I might object because
Okay,
my husband's on the planning board,
okay.
someone has to put our kids to bed.
Yeah, no, for sure. We usually do a Monday. Would anyone object to the 14th at 7:30?
Yeah.
I would just love to have this done before Thanksgiving, before people start traveling, it gets more complicated. Anyone concerned about the 14th of November?
That's good for me.
That's good for you.
Yeah,
All right, hearing object, sorry, that's good for you, Brad?
Yes.
All right, hearing no objections, our next meeting will be at 7:30. Do we want to do Zoom or in person? It's a lot of work for you to do in person. Mary.
it's not a lot. It's just,
It's just.
there's the, I just have to, it's 15 minutes.
Okay.
Okay,
Well,
20
If
minutes.
you're willing to do it.
I'm
I
willing
would
to do
love
it.
Me too, I'm
Yeah.
tired of, you must really, because your whole work is on, so pretty. Yeah, I would love to do it in person.
Oh, okay.
Sorry,
I don't
Kate,
use my, yeah. okay.
Yes,
question. I missed some of that. Were you thinking of the next one being in person, if possible, or?
glad that it could be in person. if you can't attend in person, Brad, we can do this because we have to be on Zoom anyway. I believe for guidance from the state.
Usually I can be in person, and there's a better chance I can be in person on the Tuesday. I've been
Alright.
having 2 meetings on Mondays.
Okay, well, let's do that and hope that it works out for everybody to be here together.
Okay,
Is there anything else for the good of our order? Hearing none. All right, that's a great meeting. I'm so happy to see y'all. We are adjourned.
all right,
Non-library.
all right. Thanks, Brad.
Good
Good night.
And I can put out my burden.